to talk about Duel Day 2024 that just concluded this last week. Yeah, last week. And it was a time, man. It was a time. And we're going to talk about it. But yeah, all right. So it happened this past Saturday, August 10th. We had 9 total participants in this Duel Day. One of the bigger Duel Days that we've had in a long time. What's good? Just giving the Duel Day recap. As you guys know, let me pull it up here. Duel Day information. It was August 10th. We had the live stream going, all the forbidden lists, all the stuff, the rules here. And yeah, we had 8 people in the free-for-all because we were waiting for one. He didn't make it in time for the free-for-all, which was fine. So we had myself, Byron, Cedric, Andrea, Nikki, Justin, Mitch, and Patrick in the free-for-all, 8-person free-for-all. We rolled dice to see who was going first, and Cedric was going first. So the way I'm going to talk about Duel Day, I'm going to do it in segments. Key moments from Duel Day. So it won't be able to talk about the whole thing, but I'll paint you a picture on what was going on during the matches and events. Unfortunately, for the first time ever, Duel Day was taken down. Apparently there's some third-party stuff going on in that one. So I just got to be more careful next Duel Day. I think next Duel Day, unfortunately, probably won't be live. It will be recorded, and then we'll look out for some edits and all that. Then it'll be posted maybe the next day. So I think that's what we're going to do going forward. So first was the free-for-all. Oh, that is not the one I wanted to look at. Let's get that up. Yeah, it should be coming up. Cool. Perfect. First was the free-for-all. Cedric got to go first. So again, I'm going to just talk about some certain key elements of the day and what's going forward for mostly everyone. Cedric got to go first. He got to establish one of his most dangerous cards in his Gem 9 deck, Black Garden. If a monster is normal or special summon face up, except by the effect of Black Garden, have its attack, then the controller of that monster special summons 1 rose token to their opponent's field in attack position. This attack loss remains even if the card leaves the field. You could target 1 monster in your graveyard with attack equal to the total attack of all plant monsters on the field. Destroy this card and as many plant monsters on the field as possible. Then, if you destroyed all of them, special summon that targeted monster. He really doesn't do that effect more. It's more for the token thing. So Cedric went first. He was playing his Gem Knight deck. And he was able to get plenty of tokens on the field. You're saying, what's the big deal about getting tokens on the field in an 8-person duel? It's a very big deal because if there's a big burn damage thing, everyone takes the damage. So Cedric was already had the keys necessary to do his FTK on his very first turn and win the free-for-all on the first turn, which has never been done before. The goal was to have all the tokens on the field and then get to Gem Knight Lady Lapis Lazuli because all those tokens were special summoned. And you could send 1 Gem Knight monster from your main deck or extra deck to the grave. If you do, inflict 500 points of damage to your opponent for each special summon monster on the field. So if everyone has 5 tokens, that's 2,500 times 8 people. That's overkill. Everyone dies. He wins. So he was able to get the tokens. I believe he went to the Rescue Rabbit. He was about to go full into his stuff. Patrick actually... I don't know why this is not in here. he actually Ash Blossomed and Joyous Springdom on his first turn, which actually saved the game. Because if no one else had an Ash Blossom, no one else had a hand trap, if that wasn't there, the game would have been over. Then, proceed then to my turn, because my turn is going to make sense when it comes to thing. I was able to quickly, on first turn, special summon Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, and I also had Eternal Soul, and I also had one of my cards that I only use really during Duel Day or big free-for-alls, Hollowed Life Barrier. Discard one card, you take no damage from your opponent's cards this turn, so battle and effect, and your monsters can't be destroyed by battle this turn. So it's kind of a better Wabaku, depending on how you look at it. Wabaku protects you from battle damage and your monsters can't be destroyed. Hollow Life Barrier protects you from card effect damage, but you have to discard a card. So it's really pick your poison there. So then everyone gets their turn. Byron goes after me, and then Justin, then Nikki. It's really hard because as more people are going, the later you are in the rotation, the more tokens you're getting. And once you have 5 tokens in your spot, you can't normal summon a monster unless you're tribute summoning or you have something to get rid of those with a link summon. But all the things with Black Garden, they're all level 2s. So if you don't run any link 2 or whatever monsters in your extra deck, you're SOL with those tokens. You're stuck there unless you tribute summon. So like I said, Justin goes, then Nikki, and then finally when he comes in, Mitch Oso comes, he goes, then Andrea, then Patrick. Everyone really has tokens. You're really just setting cards at this point in time. So then it's back to Cedric. So Cedric's second turn, he is able to, well, first before Cedric's second turn, Patrick, he drew a hand of, like you said, he had Ash Blossom, he had Regeki, he also had Harpy's Feather Duster, he had Imperm as well. 4 out of his 6 hand cards were board breaking interruption type cards. Patrick tries to play Harpy's Feather Duster. I could have let that go with Dragoon, and it would have been betterment for the group because then Black Garter would have been gone. I, on the other hand, negated that Harpy Feather Duster because I wanted to keep my back row. My back row of Hollowed Life Barrier and Eternal Soul. So I wanted to keep it because I'm like, if there's burn damage, Cedric's doing burn, Byron's doing burn, I want to be able to protect myself. So that's why I negated that Harpy's Feather Duster. So then it gets to Cedric's turn. Everyone really has tokens on the field. He gets to Lapis Lazula. He does Lazula's effect. I discard a card, negate it with Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, negate and destroy it. Then Cedric then proceeds to go through his other Gem Knight routes, and then summons Master Diamond, big guy over here. Gains 100 attack for each gem in the grave. Once per turn, banish 1 level 7 or lower Gem Knight fusion monster from your grave until the end phase. This card's name becomes that monster's name and replace this effect with the monster's original effect. So then, goes to Master Diamond, banishes this Lapis, and then does the effect. I activate, and Cedric has already taken 1,000 points of damage at this time. So he's at 7,000, everyone else is at 8. This goes through. Everyone dies. And then he will be alive. This is why I stopped that Harpy's Feather Duster. Because I activate Hollow Life Barrier. I'm taking no battle or effect damage this turn. While everyone else is taking battle and effect damage this turn. And with Cedric already being lower than me, and this doesn't stop his card from being activated, this would then win me Duel Day on the second turn because I take no damage and everyone else dies. No one else had anything except Patrick had the Imperm on the Master Diamond, so that stopped the burn effect of that. So then throughout most of the duel then, we're going through a cat and mouse with the tokens being on the field, people navigating through the tokens. people trying to attack to get rid of their tokens so that they could summon their own monsters. So most half of it was dealt with the tokens that Black Garden kept producing until Black Garden was gone forever. Then, before that, you got to a point too where people had their tokens off. A couple turns, kept going. You had some Harpies, Feather Dusters being played, some Regekis, some Dark Holes, things of that nature. Then it gets around to the next person who was actually about to try and win this on this turn. Justin Akindale, the producer of the L7C. First, before that, he does Rainbow Neos. Obviously, Rainbow Neos, one of the strongest fusion monsters out there. Does the effect, sends one, gets rid of, I believe he did the monsters, so that everyone has a clean slate again until you start summoning, and then you get more tokens, and then we're right back in that thing. But then Justin, he tries to win, because there's only a few people who actually had some game-winning type plays in this free-for-all. This was Justin's one. Justin special summoned Air Hummingbird. Once per turn, you gain 500 life points for each card in your opponent's hand. This put Justin in the lead, put him at 9,200. Then Justin proceeded to banish a light and a dark to summon on the next go around Chaos Emperor Dragon, Envoy of the End. One of the pre-errata, maybe the strongest monster ever created. Post-errata, But he did in a way that it worked perfectly from him. Paid 1,000. Send as many cards in both players' hands and fields possible to the grave and inflict 300 damage for each card. There are 9 people playing. All those tokens on the field, 300 apiece, all the hands. Justin was going to win the duel on that turn. He was again then stopped by another effect negating thing by Patrick. So then, once we get past the token phase of the game, you go to one of the craziest turns in Duel Day history. I think it is the craziest move ever produced on Duel Day history because of the ramifications from that duel and then going forward. You get to Mitch Oso's turn, Cyber Dragon player. You know, Cyber Dragons can end the duel at any point in time. So, Mitch, he's looking. Patrick has one of his upgraded Utopia forms. It was 35, so it was Leo. 3,500. Mitch summons Cyber Valley. Cyber Valley, old school card. One of my favorite cards, too. It's really good. You could be using almost any deck. When it's targeted for an attack, you can banish this card, draw a card, then end the battle phase. Really, simple to the point. You could target one face-up card, monster you control, including himself. Banish both those targets, draw 2 cards. You can target one card in your graveyard, banish this card, and one card from your hand, place at the top of your deck. Cyber Valley is a really good card. Really good. You know, just a little, as people say, slow for these standards because of the battle phase. But I think, personally, it's one of the best, old school cards out there. At first, I thought he was going to banish Valley and something else to draw 2 cards. Because, again, he hasn't been able to play monsters. A lot of people weren't able to play monsters because of all the tokens. Mitch gets his Cyber Valley and attacks into one of Patrick's upgraded Utopias. Everyone's just looking around saying, what are you doing? You're going to take 3,500 damage. He's told me about this play for a while. I didn't think he would actually run these cards to do it. So as soon as I did them, when he said 3,000, I said, you got to be joking. Please don't let it be it. Please don't let it be it. Please do not let it be it. And the thumbnail of this video is going to be this card because it, again, the craziest move in Duel Day history. Craziest duel I've ever been a part of. Mitchell then plays. He takes the damage. And he plays Inferno Tempest. For anyone who's probably super young, probably don't even know what Inferno Tempest is. If you're super old, you probably forgot about Inferno Tempest. Here you go. When you take 3,000 or more battle damage from one attack, so it has to be just one attack, you can activate this card. Remove all monsters in each player's deck and graveyard from play. So when Mitch first activated Inferno Tempest, I knew what it did, so I started laughing, and I was just like, you can't be serious, things of that nature. Everyone else is like, what's it do? Mitch read that second line, remove all monsters from each player's deck and graveyard from play. Everyone froze. Everyone froze for a couple seconds, and then Byron, you hear the captain saying, what the F? What? And I'm just sitting there like, I can't believe this is really happening. I really can't believe this is really happening. Inferno Tempest got successfully played during Duel Day. Like, it was crazy that it activated, that it was successful. No one else had any spell negates out there. I don't think I had a hand to do anything with Dragoon because I would have been the only one who would have been able to, but I think he might have died at that time too, don't recall. But now just think about it. You have 8 duelists who have not been really able to summon any of their monsters because of Rose Black Garden. And you go from finally getting rid of Black Garden, finally getting rid of your tokens, to now having no monsters. All your monsters in your deck and grave are gone. For majority, it hurt obviously the deck because you haven't been able to summon monsters because of the tokens. So all of them are gone. Anything you have in the grave is gone. So the only monsters you have left in this free-for-all for the entire game are the few monsters you may have on the field and the ones in your hand, and that's it. And no one is running remove from play revival. No one's running cards that can bring cards that are removed from play back to your hand, anything like that. Mitch changed. It went from tokens to Tempest era. That's basically what the free-for-all was. It was Black Garden era, Inferno Tempest era. Back to back. What do? Everyone is shell-shocked. Everyone's going through their deck, putting 30-plus cards or whatever in their banished, and just looking at whatever monster you had on the field and in your hand, that's all you got left for the rest of the game. Now, who's really going to win this stuff? And then people are like, I can't believe you did that, blah, blah, blah. Mitch, what the hell? Mitch, playing Cybers, is the only player who has a built-in card to bring his monsters back. That is why this does not affect him that much as long as he has life points. And that card being Cyberload Fusion. If you haven't noticed, this is also a thing about like cards that got played throughout Duel Day that made big impacts. Cyberload Fusion. Fusion summon one fusion monster from your extra deck that lists Cyber Dragon as monster's material. By shuffling fusion monsters listed into the deck from among your cards on the field and or your face-up banished cards. But the rest can attack the rest of the turn. So Mitch was able to play Cyberload Fusion and go into Chimera Tech Over Dragon. A Cyber Dragon plus one or more machines. Mitch made this and used all the machines he had in his banished, which means that devastating Inferno Tempest Cyberload Fusion combo, Mitch made everyone get rid of all of their monsters and was able to bring all of his back. So obviously then, Mitch has the extreme advantage because he has access to all of his monsters, all of his spells, all of his traps. Black Garden's gone, and the 7 rest of us have no monsters left. You think about it, how much you rely on those main deck monsters. You can't even go into your extra deck. If you drew a card like me, like a Branded Fusion, you can't even play it because what are you going to send? Or it's kind of crazy. So that happens. Mitch doesn't win that turn. He then summoned Elton. Did I even put Elton on here? Let me get out and on here. He does that and then goes into Elton to then take care of the face-up monsters on the field. So Mitch is just clearing house. He's like, I got all my monsters back in my deck. I'm clearing house. I'm getting rid of all this stuff. I can't attack. But it doesn't matter because now those monsters you had on the field are all gone in the grave. So what are you really going to do? It was kind of crazy. So then you just had a lot of people. Andrea, Harpy Ladies player. Unfortunately, she wasn't even able to play a monster the whole game. She didn't draw a monster. She set a lot of traps. She also didn't activate her traps in a timely thing. She activated Mirror Force on Byron. I remember that because Byron was hot. That got activated her. But she had a Draining Shield. She also had a Harpy's Feather Duster face down. She could have played at any time. But the reason she didn't want to play Draining Shield was because she didn't want to be a target with no monsters, which you can get. But sometimes you got to make yourself the target in the free-for-all. Because the people who were leading throughout the free-for-all were Justin, Andrea, and Nikki. Justin we talked about the 92. That play, again, the play from Hummingbird to Chaos Emperor Dragon was so freaking smooth. That was going to win him the game. He had some other plays we'll talk about. Then Nikki and Andrea were able to just stay out the way. They were tied at 8K for the longest. So those three were literally leading life points for most of the time. Then you have Mitch going. Patrick at this point, he had a face down monster, so he was safe from Elton, and then Mitch couldn't attack and all that. Patrick then proceeds to go into his plays. He's able to get a couple of Utopias out there as well. That was all he had left because, again, if you're an extra deck player or an XYZ player, you need monsters to make XYZs. If they're all gone, the ones you have left, once they're dead, they're dead. So we're all going around and whatnot. Gets back to Justin. Justin does another great play. He also had Spirit of Neos in his hand this whole time. He's able to get some stuff. And then he makes the Shining. And he made this card twice. The Shining, an elemental hero, plus a light monster, fusion summon. Gains 300 attack for each of your banished elemental hero monsters. Mitch banished Justin's entire deck in grave, which is mostly elemental hero monsters. So at the first time this was summoned, he was at 5,900 attack. So he's just swinging. He could take control. He could win the game. And then he summons it again later on with 6,200, trying to win the game again. Again, Justin played pretty well in this free-for-all. I can't even lie. Then there was a point in the free-for-all, too, where Patrick, he started having his Utopian stuff. He went for game. Nikki had an enemy controller, was able to put a monster in defense mode. And then Byron out there, just sitting there still laughing about the Mitch Inferno Tempest. He had the Nightmare Pain out there. There was actually a point where Byron and Justin both had they tributed tokens and both had Bell out there, so that was pretty cool. Obviously, Nightmare Pain in a free-for-all, one of the scariest cards out there. If Bell's out there, you got to attack Bell and you take all the attack damage. So, again, he had that out there, but Byron really couldn't get anything going. Really because of you went from Black Garden format to Inferno Tempest format. Mitch also had the Cyber Network where he could banish light machine monsters from his deck, and then on the third turn he gets them all back again. Mitch had the dirty combos going for everyone. Nikki at one point when he was up, he had to tribute summon for regular Blue Eyes White Dragon, and he had to tribute summon for Abyss. Abyss was the strongest monster he had left, because he kept that in his hand and made him. But once they died, he had nothing. And then you got to my turn. It's actually an important card. One of the few, once you get to the round. Cedric was before me. He summoned 2 monsters. Okay. I had a monster on the field. I go into Sky Typhon, aka Dark Zeus. I mean, it's Dark Zeus. To really then put a new element to the game where monsters with 3,000 or more attack can't activate their effects. Patrick, with all of his monsters who had he left, having 3,000 more attack, could not have that. He needed Dark Zeus gone. So then he played XYZ import. Target one XYZ monster you control, one monster your opponent controls would attack less than or equal to, attach it to as material. It's 2,900. The Future Draco 3,000. When this has the Pegasus attachment, 35. So if you're playing someone who plays Dark Zeus and you got monsters, this is actually the perfect card to go against Dark Zeus. Because you know your 3,000 monsters will always be 100 more than Dark Zeus, so you'll be able to take it. So it's actually the perfect card to go against Dark Zeus. Then I was telling Byron, and then when Byron, Justin, Nikki, I said to attack. We activate Storming Mirror Force, get rid of Patrick's stuff, things of that nature. Anyone else who was in attack mode, we're restarting the game. We're constantly restarting this game. It kind of gets pretty crazy. This free-for-all was crazy. Then we had a couple more turns. And then it comes back to me again. I had a face-down card this whole time. It was Fallen of Albaz. Again, no Branded Fusion because all the cards are gone. But then, obviously, one of the standouts, Super Polymerization. I Super Poly, go into Albion the Branded Dragon, to then go into Mirror Jade. So I have him in defense, him in attack. I'm banishing. So throughout all of this, I'm starting to get monsters back. And this was on my last turn of the game. So if it would have came back to me, I probably could have made some noise. I may have won because at this point I had the strongest monsters out here. And if Mirror Jade went, everyone else's monsters went. Yeah, so many people had chances to win. I do think highlighting like who had legitimate chances. Cedric, obviously the first two turns. His first turn and then his second turn. Me on Cedric's second turn. Justin definitely had two chances. Patrick had his chance. Mitch was in control. And Andrea and Nikki really didn't have... if they would have pushed the envelope or would have had some more stuff, maybe. But they were ahead in life points. But the people I named, those were the people who really had legit shots each turn to like... if something else didn't happen, they would have won. So then and then I remember Mitch saying, got rid of his whole deck, all that stuff. And then he still has a Mirror Jade and Albion out there. Me personally, my field, the only monster I had left was Dark Magician. Basically my whole deck. Because he was summoned on the field first turn. Brought him back with Eternal Soul, so he survived all the chaos. I'm just waiting for the support cards to come. I'm waiting for a Soul Servant. I would only have drawn one. I'm waiting for a Circle. I'm waiting for that stuff to come. So it was kind of fitting. It was just me and Dark Magician left. Justin had Neos. Nikki had Blue Eyes. Very fitting. Very fitting stuff. At this point, when I summoned all this stuff, Patrick was in the lead. He had 6,000. I attacked Patrick. Did some big damage to him. And then it comes to the final turn of this duel. And Byron, the captain of the L7C, he plays his old faithful, Owakazi. That is enough to do everyone 800 damage, for someone to die, and for Byron to win the free-for-all. It was crazy. Owakazi out there, if people remember, that was the card that Byron won his first free-for-all championship with. So for him to, and we're all low at this point, for him to do it like that, Mitch was the one who died, went to minus 500. For him to do it like that, it's kind of poetic. Yeah, you got to go back what you got there, man. Just having the Owakazi 800, and again, I had to attack Patrick because he was winning at that time. I had to do some big damage, and then it led Byron the avenue to win the 800. No one else had anything to stop it. So then, free for all, Byron was in first place. Nikki was in second place. Nikki lost by 100 points. Andrea in third. Me and Justin tied for fourth. Cedric fifth. Then Patrick, and then Oso in last. Yeah, when you look at the life points, it's really kind of wild. Because Byron had 43, and Nikki had 42, and Andrea had 39. Then me and Justin had 36. Cedric 2750, Patrick 22, Mitch minus 500. Nikki lost Duel Day by 100. He lost the free for all by 100 points. I mean, there's no more pain than that. I'm thinking if Byron doesn't have Owakazi, I got these two monsters out. Who knows what my next draw is? Maybe we can do some things. I got the starting on, but Byron played that Owakazi, won the game. Again, craziest free for all I've ever been through in my entire life. Really was. I've never had to do with all those tokens. It was about a 4-hour plus game. Tokens and then in Tempest. I do think that time was inflated because a lot of people couldn't summon their monsters because of the Garden. And then once Garden was finally dealt with, no one had access to their monsters because of Tempest. So what does that do going forward now? I mean, now people know Mitch got that play in his back pocket. So now that adds a crazy element to what you would have to prepare for. Because now you don't know if Mitch is going to do that again. And if Mitch does that again, what are you going to do? It's crazy. It's changed the game forever. Because only he has a card that could bring all of his machines back. He also had a play too where he stopped something for game with Turtle. So, what do you do going forward now? Like, that's what makes it so crazy and exciting knowing that play is out here. Obviously, with the Black Garden out here and Tempest and all this burn, like, what are you going to do going forward in these free-for-alls? I think everyone played pretty well in it. Like I said, I named the people. People had times to really win that game. It's just Byron had the last card at the last time, at the best time, so it worked out. It worked out for him. So then congratulations there to Byron. You go to the tag, and then this Spencer and Pendulum player came. So, since we had an odd number, what it was, we just did teams of 2, so 4 teams of 2. I would just pick up from a losing team. So, teams you had Cedric and Justin, you had Spencer and Andrea. First it was Byron and Nikki, and then Patrick and Mitch. I decided to sit out because Spencer was waiting, all of that. Spencer and Andrea played against Byron and Nikki, and Patrick and Oso played against Cedric and Justin. Andrea and Spencer had really good combinations with their stuff. Spencer's a Pendulum player, and then Andrea's a Harpy player. They had the combination of having the Red Eyes Flare out there, then Spencer having his big Odd Eyes monsters that can gain your attack. They were a really good team, solid team. They beat Byron and Nikki in that, so then I picked up Byron, and then Patrick and Mitch beat Cedric and Justin. We were doing 16,000 life points, 2 out of 3. I do love having the 16 life points. That was new, and everyone getting a turn, because we've had some duel days where people didn't even get a turn, which I did not like. What I will do next year, it will be the 16,000. Everyone gets a turn, but we're going to make it best out of 1, and we're going to do losers brackets. That's what we're going to do to shave off some time. So if you lose, you go to losers bracket. If you get 2 losses, you're out. So that's what we're gonna do. Unless there's a championship round, I'm still gonna figure out, but that's what we're probably gonna lean towards. But then I pick up Byron. Patrick and Mitch beat Spencer and Andrea, so they're really just waiting in the finals. Me and Byron are playing Spencer and Andrea. We were able to come out on top, and then we play Patrick and Mitch in the finals. Patrick does his usual. Yeah, it does. It's just So then he does his usual, pays us 2K. Everyone's going their stuff. I don't know if I kept it on my phone. They attack us. We survive. Again, a very important card throughout. Super polymerization. We were at Super Poly. Their board. Get rid of their board. I go. I'm able, they had 14,000. I'm able to do 11,000 damage to them. They had 3,000 left. But then at that point, Mitch went, had droplets, did his stuff, and they were able to win the tag team championship. Mitch and Patrick, they were able to beat me and Byron. In that one, is that because we were right there? Fortunately, just we needed one or more cards. Now, if you go back in that duel, unfortunately, there was a major misplay on Byron's part that would have won us that tag team championship. Byron summoned a Luber, and then obviously they tried to do some stuff. Byron then super polyed, believe went into Mud Dragon, and it was already after the fact where we could have went into Tax Dragon, and we would have won the game, unfortunately. That's one of those things you learn from. Like, it happened. Because people forget with Tax Dragon, it's a Despia monster and a Light and Dark. And Byron had the Super Probably. All they had was Light and Darks. You would have made that. Tax Dragon would have went up there. That would have been enough to win us the game attack-wise. And it would have put the pressure, because I calculated the cards that Mitch activated, and they wouldn't have had it. They would have had to have stopped. They would have had to kill Tax Dragon first before activating stuff. But it is what it is. On that, we would have won. Byron would have won the tag team championship, and then Byron actually would have won Duel Day, because he would have won 2 out of the 3 events. So it just happens. There were other misplays that cost people stuff, but that was a glaring one that literally decided who won or lost the tag. So then you go there. Patrick and Mitch won. We came in second. Spencer and Andrea, Cedric and Justin, then Nikki down there. You go to the singles. At this point, past the singles, we're getting some dinner in. It's late. It's already past 10, 11, 12-ish o'clock. So now we're trying to get all these singles in. People are going. People are playing, though. What I actually liked doing, what I did while the tags were going on, I had people picking out of a hat to see who they were playing. So if that person wasn't playing in a tag, you already got your single game going. So I liked doing that because it sped it up. So you weren't just waiting. So I was like, oh, yeah, you're not playing. All right, let's go. Let's play all of that. So that was really cool. There were some matchups going. It was 2-something in the morning when we finally had the finals. Because I guess me and Mitch were the semifinals. And it was myself versus Patrick. Patrick was able to win. So then Patrick won 2 out of the 3 events, tag and singles, which then gave him his very first outright Duel Day championship, because the one that he was co-champ with Cedric, again, co-champ. So this was his first time when he was just the outright undisputed champion. So then congratulations to him and his Utopias for completing that feat. So Duel Day finished around 2:58 in the morning, 3 o'clock. If you look right here, this is the 2021 champ, Andrea Alaniz. You know her as the My Hero Enthusiast. She finally got to hold the trophy because she wasn't able to hold the trophy when she won, because the trophy wasn't made yet. So she got to take her picture of the trophy again. She won Duel Day as a rookie. First female ever. Congrats to her once again on that. So she got to hold the trophy. So then you go. Here's the Instagram post. Wildest Duel Day in history. Had our winners, Byron, free for all champ. When you win, again, we do it real over here. Like I try and tell you guys, Duel Day is a real thing. It's a real event. You get a medal for the event that you won, and then you get a jar of homemade cookies from my wife. Some of the best cookies out there. You see JJ Smith voice. You let Patrick win it all. Huh? That's hilarious. So Byron won the free for all. And then Mitch and Patrick won the tag with their medals and their thing. Patrick won the singles, and then he won the Duel Day trophy, which is now his name will be placed there. And then, so it'll be there. Patrick Carlson waiting for that to come in. If you look at this, again, we add a lot of spice to the Duel Day, man. We do a lot of cool stuff. We're cutting edge over here when it comes to the Yu-Gi-Oh! We got betting odds. You can obviously pick yourself, but if you don't want to pick yourself, who else do you think is going to win Duel Day? There's some odds there. Singles, overall winner. That's the life point thing, and that's all the awards there. That's actually a pretty good picture of there. So you have all the life points. So the life points are right on the TV for everyone playing. Then you got the awards and stuff going on over there. And then if you look right here, Byron with the 43, Nikki 42, like I said, Andrea 39, me and Justin 36, Cedric 2750, Patrick 22, and Mitchell minus 500. So again, yep, so that I do really like that picture with the awards and all that. So congrats to the people who won. Congrats to everyone. I don't think anyone played particularly bad at all, objectively. I think everyone, when they were left to actually having their devices, did pretty well. Oh yeah, also check out L7C, you know, that stuff where you see the Duel Day update pictures on the Instagram, you see the Anime League stuff. That's really all you see on the Instagram and like stuff like that. We really don't post much on there. But yeah, I don't think anyone played bad. I really don't. Obviously, there's some pretty big misplays people had, and you go back talking to people, there's some moves that could have been done that could have bettered their situation or won them events. But in terms of just anyone being a scrub and terrible, no. I don't think that was the case for anyone. For people like in the last couple months leading up to Duel Day, every Wednesday at 9 o'clock, L7C had a open duel like forum type thing where people could come in, practice their combos, get right, practice their decks to get right for Duel Day. It was every Wednesday at 9. And people came in. Justin came in. Nikki. Justin hasn't played in a free-for-all like that probably in 10 plus years. And he had multiple chances to win. So that shows that he was putting in the work. He did really well. Nikki has never played in one that big before as well. So has Andrea. So those people who have never played in that big a Duel Day or haven't played in a while. I mean, Andrea hasn't played with her physical cards since 2021 when she won Duel Day. So that's crazy in a sense too for her to, you know, you got to relearn all your combos. And Nikki, he was at that 2021 Duel Day, was disappointed in his performance, took a couple years, came back, new stuff, and he did pretty well as well. Again, there's only going to be a few people who win. It's just one of those things like where you don't want to be particularly bad. And I don't think any of those people did particularly bad at all for not playing as consistently and just grinding all summer and training camps and all of that, getting better. I think probably everyone should have probably used a little bit more training camps, or if you were making a deck, probably should have. Oh yeah, Nikki showed good improvement from that last one to this one. He showed great improvement. I was really impressed with Justin's stuff. I really thought he was going to win that free-for-all. I mean, I really did. Chaos, Rainbow Neos, like all that stuff. I really thought he was going to win. And then Andrea was there too. I mean, those three were the three in the lead for most of the free-for-all. So, kudos to them. Next year, maybe we'll start the Duel Day camp a little bit earlier for people. But it was really cool. It was really, really cool on that. With that being said, gotta update Duel Day results. All right. I should be able to. Oh, edit page. We're going to do this live. I think this is what I'm going to start doing now, editing the page live during the Duel Day Recap video. Also, L7C website. Make sure you check that out. All right. So, 2024. Patrick Carlson. So we're going to 2024. Gives Byron his second free for all. Copy. Byron Mitchell. Tag team champ. 2024. Yeah, a lot of history too. I mean, Patrick has won 3 straight tag team championships. with 3 different people. So that's pretty impressive. That is obviously his best event. Patrick, one-on-one champ. 2024. Patrick Carlson. Top 4. So I need to actually, let's copy this. Paste. 4 top 4 finishes. 1. Ooh, I don't want to like that. Patrick Carlson. Let me see the thing. Singles. Right. 2. Byron Mitchell. So Patrick is number 1 because he won 2 out of 3 events. Obviously, he's the Duel Day champion, so you got to be ranked number 1. He didn't do that well in the free-for-all, obviously, but he won the tag and he won the singles. That's why he's number 1. Byron is number 2 because he won the free-for-all and he came in 2nd place in the tag. So then 3rd be Mitchell Oso because he was a part of the tag team championship. And then 4th would actually be myself because when you compare all the people who didn't win, I finished 2nd in tags, 2nd in singles, and tied for 4th in Duel Day. So overall, I mean, so there we go with that completely updated. Save. So now, first outright, 2nd overall thing with Patrick. So technically, outright-wise, he still has 1. So he's there with Andrea, but if you do the overall-wise, he's then tied with Eli. I currently still have 3 overalls, and Andrea has her 1. Free-for-all champ, I've won. I still have Byron, who's got his 2nd. So now he is tied. He is 2nd most free-for-alls champ ever. I'm currently at 3. I'm the only person, though, to win it back-to-back. So that is pretty cool there. Tag teams, I mean, Patrick is well and away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 out of the 8 years Patrick has won tag team championship. I've actually won with him twice. So he's well and away with that. So I have 2. The twins have 2. So he's well and away with that. One-on-ones. Now there's a tie for 1st place in the one-on-ones. Eli's won it twice. Audie has won it twice. Now Patrick's won it twice, and myself has won it twice. So now there's a tie with that as well. So that's pretty interesting in that. So now we're going to then go update the cards, which I really like having these duelist cards. As we are loading. And I'm going to send the updated cards to the people out there. So now, another top 4 finish. That gives 7. For myself, you go to Byron. Free-for-all championship, 2. Top 4 finishes, 4. For himself, you go to Patrick. Tag team champion, 5. Singles tournament, twice. Top 4, 5 finishes, 6. Duel Day event championship, 1 co-champ. 1 outright. Then you go to Mitchell. Tag team champ, 1. Top 4 finishes, twice. And that is really everyone's stuff. And I'm going to send those out to people after we're done with the... So do I like the way this looks? Duel Day Event Championships. So do I want to like this, though? 1 co-champ, 1 hour. I kind of like it like that. Yeah, I like it like that. I think that looks a lot better. So then you're looking at people's things. Again, I didn't win anything at this one, but got a top 4 finish is really all you can ask for, so upgrades that. Byron gets his second free-for-all. Again, Omikaze right there gets 2 now. Tag 1, top 4 finishes. Patrick gets the outright. Another tag team championship, singles tournament, top 6. Then Mitchell, free-for-all, tag, top 2 finish 2. I do want to say something about Mitchell also. Because the first duel day that he came back for a while, he came in last place. Obviously disappointed. You put in the work and all that. No one really wants to come in last, no matter what you're doing. But ever since coming in that last place, Mitchell has won the free-for-all 1 year, won the tag the next year, and has finished in the top 4 both those back-to-back. So he's won a new event every year since coming in that last place. So that's real improvement right there. If he keeps on that track, then he might win the singles next year, or maybe the dual day thing. So that's just want a big note for that he's improved greatly in that. It is good. I will say with the betting thing, I think I was the closest on the betting stuff because honestly, I put Byron for everything. I put Byron to win the free-for-all. He did. I put Byron to win the tags, and I put Patrick, so Patrick won. And then singles, I put Byron. So, yeah, shout out to Byron. All right, so that is updated now. Duelist cards are good. The website is good. So then just want to talk about, just real quickly, myself. Hey, that's how you do it, man. I want to talk about myself in a way, just real quick about my thing. Again, I didn't win an event this year, which is fine. I didn't win Duel Day this year, which is fine. I've actually looked at the thing. It's kind of weird when you actually look at the website because I noticed I don't know if I want to keep it like that, but I've noticed something that I don't win Duel Day. I only win it every 3 years, which is kind of weird. Like, it's not on purpose or anything like that, but 2017, 2020, 2023, that is weird. I don't think that pattern is going to last because that would be 2026 the next time I win. I really don't want to wait that long because obviously we're all competitors and want to beat each other, but that's just a weird thing, like, seeing that actually in a thing. And then I haven't won a free-for-all since 2020, like other people. Which I like. So ever since doing the back-to-back, we've had a new person win a free-for-all every year since 2020. I like that. Andrea, Cedric, Mitchell, Byron. We've had a new person win the free-for-all every year since 2020. So I think that's actually really, really cool. And then tag team, I mean, it's really Patrick dominance. I mean, the first one, then Adi Eli. Since 2021, we have not had a team that didn't have Patrick win, and that was Byron and Andrea. They won the tags that year. Cedric and Patrick, again, has won with 3 different partners, and he's won it with the most partners he's won it with is me. Yeah, and then on the one-on-ones, I would like to see someone new get in there. I mean, I won the first, and then Eli, Adi, Patrick, me, Patrick. Like, these have been the only 1, 2, 3, 4 names on there. So I'd like to see someone new get on there. But yeah, there's some cool statistics there with Duel Day. Again, man, it's one of my favorite days of the year. It really is. So then with me in general, you go, and this will all be like bits, so you don't have to listen to this thing when it's on the YouTube. But it's like me in general. This was like one of the decks. It's different because there's only 2 Magician Souls in my real thing. These imperms are on the side because of the way we play things like that. I don't even use Relinquish Anima. I use something else. But I don't really have an issue with the stuff I ran. It is tough. I don't even have an issue with play. I don't think I played bad at all. I think in that finals against Patrick, which I was Where the hell is it? When you have all this stuff. Oh, they're right here. I don't even know why Spirit Mode. That's in the side deck. I don't think I did bad. Like, I didn't draw any Galaxy Wizards. I didn't draw any Vanisher Thrasher combo. Didn't get any of them. So I got no engine whatsoever. Because in the one-on-ones, I played Byron, I played Mitch, and I played Andrea. And then I played Patrick in the finals. But then it was funny because I was able to draw all my stuff against them. But I just could not for the life of me get an engine starting card in the one-on-ones. And that happens. Like, if you lose because you couldn't get your engine, it is what it is. It's just that way, this way the cookie crumbles, the deck didn't fall your way. And that's fine. If you lose because you guys are going back and forth and they outplay you, that's fine too. There's no excuse. I mean, it's just what it is. You didn't draw your engine, or they had the more cards or whatnot, or they stopped yourself. It's fine. So, no. That one, because I played Galaxies last year, was able to get to all of my stuff, and I won singles with Galaxy Eyes. The last game this time, it just didn't work out, unfortunately, which is fine. And then go back here, again, some of the signature cards. Spirit of Yubel, Spirit of Neos, Byron with the Spirit of Yubel, Jess with the Spirit of Neos, that's some cool stuff. All of that jazz, all the extra stuff, Flare, Blue Eyes Twin Burst, Nikki was able to get out. Utopias, Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon with Spencer negating stuff. Yeah, it was this cool stuff. So what's gonna happen? What's on the horizon for everyone, really, next year? Like, what's on the horizon for cards coming and all that? So what I like to do is just make a little section here, cards to look out for. Some of these cards will never come to the TCG, which is fine, but I like to make this stuff I also put some of this stuff for like things to look out for certain people and certain individuals. So let's just say some of the stuff is already out. Let's say for Mitch, what are cards that came out that we know at this point in time that's going to help him next Duel Day? Rage of the Abyss. You got Forger of the Dawn, basically Gold Cyber Twin Dragon. They just put Cyber in its name. 2 Light Machine Monsters, can be Fusion Summon. On the standby phase of the next turn, you can add 1 card from your graveyard to your hand with the effect that Fusion Summons. That is monster, spell, or trap. So technically, if you had a Branded Fusion, you could add that back. Fallen of Albaz, Super Poly, any of that. When your opponent activates a spell or trap or effect, you can banish 1 light face-up machine monster. You control or 2 light monsters in your grave, negate it. So Mitch is going to have a very easy spell negate that he's going to be able to get to in his extra deck. So that is going to be pretty cool. I mean, that's it right now. There's probably going to be some other maybe machine stuff coming through with deck building and all of that. But we'll see that going forward. This card right here, could be for myself. This could be for Byron. This could be for anyone who wants a Super Poly target. Prostar Dragon of the Void. 1 light or dark dragon monster, which there's a plenty at Duel Day, plus a dragon monster. Fusion Summon, target cards your opponent controls up to the number of your light and dark monsters. Use a fusion material to destroy them. If this card's banished, you could target 1 level 4 light or dark dragon monster you control. Its level becomes 8. This could be a pretty sneaky Super Poly target going forward. For Patrick, I don't think he owns this card, but this could be a really good card in a big free-for-all. This came out in Terminal. Full Armored Utopic Ray Lancer. It's basically Utopia with Ray Lancer. I'll have to check that, Byron. I'll have to check that. This one, once per turn, XYZ summon by discarding 1 spell or trap and using 1 rank 4 or lower XYZ monster control. Very easy. 1. Monsters your opponent controls lose 500 attack. In a big free-for-all, that is major. You're making everyone lose 500. That's really good. At the start of the battle phase, you can negate the effects of all attack position monsters your opponent currently controls. Again, in a big free-for-all, that is major. You're blanket negating everyone. it's non-targeting negate, and you're negating everyone. That could be make or break in a free-for-all. Also, if the attacking card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can attach a material from it. It can make a second attack in a row. So then you get 2 attacks. Like, there are times where in free-for-alls, in those big ones, you're 1 attack short, and you need that extra attack. So this card, in a big free-for-all duel day, major. That's a good last resort card to go into to win you the game. Now, some of this stuff is already... So when stuff's already come out, like the Light Ends... Light and Darkness, Dragon Lord, Byron got to summon that one. These have come out. And Karibo's never coming out. I've gone past that. It's never coming. But Spell Card Monster Reborn, which Byron played. There are some times where you could have played a little earlier to get the monster, but that card's a really good card. You can only activate one of them once per turn, though. Soul Exchange, no one was running that. Could attribute to people's monsters. Now, I guess now for like me and anyone else going forward. So, me and Nikki, per se. Yeah. I didn't do a video on the second Blue Eyes cards because I was waiting for the last one to come out. But I did do a video on the first set, the first 4. So, check that out. Probably link it here. Comes out in Rage of the Abyss. So, you're going to get this dragon, these 2 in Rage. You're also going to get some other stuff in Rage that I'm going to talk about. But for me and Nick, again, I've talked about the Blue Eyes stuff. I've already talked about Maiden of White. I've talked about Praise of Eyes of Blue. I've talked about Saga of the Blue-Eyed Dragon. And I've talked about Blue-Eyed Spirit Ultimate Dragon. Those cards are coming in the OCG next month, in a couple weeks. TCG still, day 2 be confirmed. So, with those cards alone, Nikki's going to get an amazing power-up. Amazing power-up if he stays with the Blue Eyes. It's like, Blue Eyes, there's talks about them being meta going forward. Then, the other 3 cards that came. Neo Kaiser Seahorse. I love this card, especially for my main deck. Has a lot of synergy. A Light Dragon Tuner. Oh, you couldn't ask for anything better with that for me. You control Blue Eyes, special summon it from your hand. You could target 1 Light Tuner you control, increase or decrease its level by 1, including itself. If this card is sent from the field to the grave, you could send 1 Blue Eyes monster or 1 monster that mentions Blue Eyes White Dragon from your deck to the grave. I love it. Love that card. The reason being, too, because Nikki and this Spirit with Eyes of Blue, link 1 Tuner, 1 level 4 or lower Dragon or Spellcaster monster. Technically, anyone who uses Dragon or Spellcasters level 1 through 4 can use this as a link 1 to then climb up. It's going to do Shadol's, Branded, everything that uses that type of stuff can use that. It gets you the Mausoleum of White. I'm not probably going to use that for my main deck purposes. Maybe my Chaos Max deck. The thing when I'm going to use it is obviously to use it as a link 1. Attributed to special summon 1 Blue Eyes monster from your hand or grave. But just if you special summon an effect monster, it can't attack and its effects are negated. So, the play there, real simple play. Normal summon Kaiser Seahorse. Link into Spirit of Eyes of Blue. Depending on however you want to do your chain link. Chain link 1, get Mausoleum of White. Chain link 2, send a Blue Eyes monster. You could send Blue Eyes Jet Dragon. Then you could tribute this to then special summon the Jet Dragon. Effect would be negated on the field, but then once it dies, you're back up. Or you could do that to get Blue Eyes White Dragon. Simple stuff. There is the trap card, Majesty of Dragons of White for Nikki. That will do great things for him. Show 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons from your hand. Face them on the field. Graveyard. Destroy as many cards your opponent controls. You can banish this card from your grave. Ritual summon. And you can ritual summon by tributing Blue Eyes White Dragons from your hand or field. So you don't even have to use a ritual card. This card's going to be really good. Disruption. But yeah, for Nikki, it'll be really good stuff. I don't know. We don't know when it's coming out in English, TCG, and we don't know what the last card is. We're still waiting on that. We're going to get the last card by the end of the month, so that's going to be exciting to see what it is. Another card that could change a lot of things in Duel Day going forward. this little guy. Carozo. Spellcaster, fusion, tuner, effect. What are the fusion requirements? A fusion, synchro, XYZ, or link, plus 1 spellcaster monster. Omega super poly target. That's going to be coming to us next year, hopefully. You could use this on myself, taking one of my spellcasters, or I can use it on you, using my spellcaster on one of your extra deck monsters. It is a great utility card to have next year if you're using super polymerizations. Once per turn, when a monster declares an attack, you could target it, negate its attack, and then if you do, this card gains attack equal to that monster's, and you can return. So you gain attack, and you send the monster back to your hand. And a Duel Day thing, man, again, it's a great super poly target if you're running spellcasters. It really is. It really is. Now, the other hand, the Galaxies. The Galaxies have got... Oh, yeah, before I go to the Galaxies, other stuff that's coming in Rage of Abyss 2, the normal monster support. Again, that could help Nikki, could help myself. Special summoning normal monsters, the Premadia cards, Schiller, Opener, Implode, Temper. Like, these are some really good cards for normal monsters, so that could help out. Galaxy cards, man, there's coming. They're coming. This card... This card not only just Galaxies and a lot of different stuff, a lot of Dragon decks. This card's kind of crazy. You control no monsters for your opponent's monster, or your opponent controls a monster with 2,000 more attack. You can special summon this card from your hand. Either way, you're getting the special summon. Your first turn or your second turn. Then, special summon 1 light level 8 dragon or dark monster from your deck. Negate its effects. You can't special summon monsters from the extra deck this turn. You activate this effect, except Dragon XYZ monsters. So if you just special summon this and don't activate the effect, you can still go into other extra deck stuff. But this instantly gets you an instant Dragon rank 8. Like, this card is going to be crazy for Dragons and Galaxies. So that's why I did have a little thing. It's just like, Galaxies are coming, man. They're coming. The roles that you can do in that, you can go into then the Tachyon Primal. And then you can go into the new rank 8. If it's special summon from the extra deck, you can add 1 Galaxy or Tachyon card from your deck to your hand. The Tachyon Transmigration counter trap becomes searchable with these new cards for the first time. That card is bonkers for a counter trap perspective. So then on top of this, you could put another rank 8 dragon on top of this. And it counts as a XYZ summon. By using this card you control, then you can attach a Galaxy monster from your extra deck as addition material. So you're getting a whole bunch of materials on this thing. Again, Galaxies are coming with a lot of stuff. You got this little guy, not even big, this big guy here. If a Dragon XYZ monster is on the field, you can special summon this card to either field. If it's normal or special summon, its owner adds 1 Tachyon spell or trap to the hand. It's wild. The baby version. Yeah, again, Galaxies have a lot of stuff coming in. This is as of... These are just cards I'm looking out for. Don't know when this Detonating Karibo is coming out. These are cards that I'm just looking out for in 2025. We got the Tins coming out. We got Raging Abyss coming out. We got the Extravaganza coming out. We got a lot of things coming out. I don't know if any of these cards are going to translate in there. Again, there's been no TCG date for the Blue Eyes stuff or that Galaxy stuff. We don't know when any of this stuff is coming out. We don't even know the first set in 2025 for the TCG. But there's a lot of cool things on the horizon. Obviously, there's ban lists coming. There'll be multiple ban lists coming by the time Duel Day Duel Day comes out in next August. So we're going to have to see, man. We're going to have to see. Things are going to change. Decks are going to change. Ban lists are going to come out. it's an exciting thing because now it's just like, all right, we have a whole year to build up towards that Duel Day again. Everyone's going to have new cards, new combos. 1 or 2 new cards could change an entire deck. It'll be very interesting to see. My advice, obviously, for people to get ready for Duel Day, even though it's a year away. I mean, it is kind of like our local / worlds because we're trying to see the best out of all of us that day. Is, keep practicing. Keep practicing. This is time to practice. Practice new decks. Do all that stuff. Be on the lookout for cards that can help your deck. And then once it gets to, 2025, after President's Day, you get to March, it's like, all right, now I need to start thinking about what I'm going to do, building up towards that. So, but that's the Duel Day recap. Thank you, everyone, for listening. L7C. Going to be back on here doing some duels. I have not added any of the new cards to my deck. I've not. I think I did the Blue Eyes on one stream. I haven't done any of the new Galaxy stuff. I try to play with cards I actually own in real life so I don't get oh my gosh, just get used to those combos even though I don't own the cards. But yeah, so we'll be back on here doing some duels again, just some fun stuff. Be on the lookout for the fantasy, for the online dynasty, and next live stream I believe will be the fantasy. I don't know if we're doing that. It'll be the draft, but live streams there'll be some coming. Yeah, man, it's really the off season. It kind of coincides with the world. What the world is doing, Worlds is coming in a couple weeks, so it's this is where you use new stuff. But then also you got to know what your old stuff is doing too. With that being said, thank you everyone for watching this. We'll be back on some streams. L7C, congratulations to all the Duel Day champions. Again, it was the craziest Duel Day I've ever been a part of. Signing out.